For 37 years, Jack Nolan has been calling Notre Dame men's basketball games. Now, I'm telling you, over the years, I have talked and done so many stories with the people that are the faces and the voices that make Notre Dame athletics so special. And, usually I'll talk to them and I'll say, could you have ever dreamt that you would have had this job? And usually they say, oh, no, never in my wildest dreams. But not Jack Nolan. I talked to him about that, and he said, you know what? I've been dreaming of this job my whole life. Come to find out, he's been preparing for it as well.
Ferrell to Pfluger for three, got it! And Notre Dame's got the lead back 37-36.
And what is that feeling that you get when you call a big play or Notre Dame pulls off an upset?
It is as close to playing as you can get if you're not good enough to play at that level. And if you do a moment justice and you help elevate the moment even more.
Pass out of Jogo for three. Got it! Nick Jogo!
Jack's path to elevating the moments at Notre Dame has not been by chance.
As a kid, did you ever imagine that you would be doing what you're doing, the play-by-play voice, traveling the world with Notre Dame?
I dreamed of announcing games from the time I was very, very young. Played sports, but I always thought about announcing it.
Jack grew up in Massachusetts with a love for his Boston teams and a dream of growing up to be like his favorite broadcaster.
Johnny, Greer's putting the ball on play. He gets it out deeper. Havlicek.
So I used to stay home on Friday nights. Believe it or not, there was a time when every game wasn't on TV, and I would listen to Johnny Most call Boston Celtics games. And then when I got into high school, I started bringing tape recorders to Fenway Park and Boston Garden, and I would announce the games.
And I only had 2.5 hours of tape, so I had to tape over the third quarter to get this part, the third overtime in.
I had a friend who had season tickets about 8 rows behind the third base dugout at Fenway, so would call games there, and then I would we would sneak into the upper press boxes at Boston Garden and call games there, and sometimes I would just sit in my seats. 1976, I got tickets for the entire NBA playoffs, and that's through the finals. 13 potential games for $68. Now, it was in the third balcony. I sat in section 101, seat 1, row 1, and I would announce the games. And at first, people were like, oh, this kid, what is he doing? And then it got to the point where I would hand out stats. And they once grabbed my tape recorder and played it over the train on the way home. I used to take the train in, so I wanted to do that for a long time.
His makeshift amateur training put him in position to follow his dream. While he played basketball in high school, he made his debut calling the football games. He went on to the University of Missouri, one of the top broadcasting schools in the country.
Your Columbia Sports Connection, that's what I used to, that was my tagline when I was sports director there, but I got to do Missouri basketball and football for 2 seasons. And that was terrific. I mean, as a matter of fact, Bob Costas was just starting, and he did it for KMOX. And he would sit right about at the end of the sofa, and I would sit here, and we both used bang, which was a Johnny Most term, and I beat him with a bang one night. And he kind of glared at me, and it was just a wonderful experience.
From Missouri, Jack got his first job at CNN, where he interviewed the likes of Pete Rose and Mario Andretti. In less than a year, he landed in South Bend.
Do you remember what your first game was then?
First game that I called was Notre Dame Purdue in Notre Dame Stadium, September 14th, 1982, and I predicted that Notre Dame would win 28-0, and they did, and I have not predicted a score since.
Along this path of having his dream job, he also found his dream girl. In 1985, Jack met Rhonda Brown, a weather forecaster at a competing local TV station. And about 8 months later, the two were married and have made South Bend their forever home.
I would be lost without her, absolutely lost without her. And I think it would be the same, although she takes care of me a little better than I take care of her. She is just a terrific person, and really the reason I do anything that I do now is just to try to help our relationship and hopefully give her a good life when she finally retires.
But Jack isn't ready to retire anytime soon. He has gone on to call hundreds of Irish games and now works for the university with Fighting Irish Media. He has hosted countless charity events and even been given an honorary monogram.
For one of the few times in my life, I can't express how grateful, how surprised, and how honored I am.
He hosts the new Notre Dame football postgame show.
Notre Dame's defensive backs were all over, legally, the NC State receivers in this game.
Absolutely.
And he continues to host the coaches' shows.
He's such a key guy for us.
He has covered Notre Dame for nearly 4 decades and practically seen it all.
Well, actually, I met Ara Parsegian in 1978 when he was doing a nationally televised Missouri game, and it's halftime.
From Lou to Kelly, Digger to Bray. It's the relationships that stand out the most.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome back to the floor the head coach of the Fighting Irish, Mike Bray.
Mike Bray, I don't think I've ever been closer to a guy than Mike Bray, and that's not me, that's Mike, because Mike is friends with everybody who works with him, and he has just been terrific. That scene from the movie about the president, so you take a bullet for him, I'd take a bullet for Mike Bray. I'd take a bullet for most of the guys, but especially for Mike Bray.
While those days with the tape recorder may seem like a lifetime ago.
Over to Scott. Scott drives the lane, lays it up, and in. A beautiful double football. Right shot.
Little Jack's dream has come true.
I listen to some of the old tapes now, and I'm like, I was pretty good. So, and hopefully I still am.
Well, you can see that Jack Nolan is getting ready for the game right now. And thank you so much to Jack for all of the old photographs and everything that he was able to give us.